everyone, it's Christy. Welcome to day 4 of my 2015 holiday card series. Today I'm going to be coloring in this image from WPlus9's Holiday Hugs. It features this adorable polar bear and this little girl giving him a hug, which I love. And I thought I would break out my colored pencils for something different today. So the ones that I have are the Spectrum Noirs, and this is the Primaries set. So I'm just going to give my little bear a little border on the edge of his outline with the lightest blue in that set. I want him to look white, but you know, if you just leave an object white, you know, it's kind of flat, and I want him to look dimensional. So that light blue is going to just give him a more rounded, natural appearance. So then I'm just going around with the next shade in the blue set. The Spectrum Noirs are grouped in 3s, and I'm just going to deepen that. And then I'm just going to take a paper blending stump and blend that out by scrubbing over the pencil wax in little circles and just drawing out the color. So I have to tell you guys, I was so super excited when I saw this stamp set because polar bears are my favorite, and I have had a joke with my family that if I ever met one in person, I would run to it and hug it, and it would realize how much I love it and hug me back, which of course is ridiculous, but I just love them so much. I don't know why. I just love polar bears. I think they just are so super cuddly and sweet. There was a lady, by the way, who did do that. I believe it was at a German zoo, and she jumped into the polar bear tank, and let's just say it did not end well for her. So, yeah, I would never really do that in real life, but I do love them. So, I thank Dawn from WPlus9 for illustrating this adorable set that allowed me to realize one of my dreams in stamp form. So back to the coloring, I am just taking the lightest pink pencil in this set and doing a little scribbling around the outside edges of this little girl's parka. And then I'm going to take a deeper shade and go around the edges. I also just went ahead and added a little bit of blue that I missed to the polar bear's hand. And then I'm just going to blend that in again with my paper blending stump. And by the way, if you are new to colored pencils, the solution that I'm dipping my paper stumps in is just Gamsol, which is an artist grade odorless mineral spirits, and I just have it poured into this little jar with a sponge stuffed inside just to make it really easy to dip and just get the small amount that I need. So now I'm just taking a shade of brown from this set and coloring in her hair and blending that out. I wanted her to kind of look like me to go along with the story. So I took brown, and then I'm taking the next shade, which has a little bit of a reddish tinge, which looks more like my hair color, and just adding that in as well to give some shading towards the front there. And then I'm taking that same light blue that I used for the polar bear and coloring in the little ball on top of her hat and her little boots so that they can be white too. So now I'm switching to the Essentials set because I needed a skin tone and the Primaries doesn't come with one. By the way, if you were looking to invest in these colored pencils, there are 5 different sets, but I would highly recommend these 2. If you have the Primaries and the Essentials, you pretty much have all the colors that you could possibly want. So these are great to start out, and then you could always add the other sets if you decide that you really like them. But I enjoy them, and so now I'm just going back to the Primaries just to grab that pink back out to give her some rosy cheeks. And then I'm going to switch back to the Essentials because these pinks in the corner caught my eye, and I thought they would look great for the polar bear's scarf. So I'm using the lightest shade first and just giving him a little bit of color along the edges, and then wherever there would be like a fold in the fabric. And I'll just blend that out because I wanted to see how bright that would be. And then once I see that I'm happy with that, but I'd like to go a little bit darker, I'm going to move on to the next shade in that little set of 3 and just deepen the edges. That's one thing I really do like about these pencils. Similar to Copic markers, you can layer your color and you don't really ruin your paper even if you keep blending on top. And then I'm just going back to the lightest pink to give him some rosy cheeks. I had already used the lighter pink from the primary set, but it wasn't quite bright enough for his face, so I just went over top of that with the pink. So, and then I'm just going to color a couple of these presents the same way in the same shades that I use for the rest of the images. And moving on to the card making portion, I'm using a piece of WPlus9 cardstock. This is the Dove Gray color. It's one of my most favorite colors. It's a really great neutral when you want something that's a little bit different than white, but still very easy to write a message on top. And then the papers I'm using are from the Juniper Berry 6x6 by Basic Gray. This was my favorite Christmas paper pad to be released this season. So I just think these prints are super adorable. This polar bear one on pink, I would love a pair of pajama pants in that print. So my focal panel was die cut with the Lawn Fawn Stitch journaling card die, and then I did the hillsides with the hillside borders, and you can see I've stamped my sentiment from this WPlus9 set right on the bottom hill. I'm mounting that with foam tape. I've also got some foam tape on the back of my image here, so I'll go ahead and add that to the card. I love to pop things up and give them dimension. Once I've got that situated, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of the presents. And I actually had to fussy cut all my images because somehow, my wire cutters that I use to cut my dies apart got lost in the move, and I didn't realize it until today. So you can see those dies sitting up in the corner. And I couldn't get them to bend apart, so I ended up just fussy cutting them. But then I'll go ahead and get that doily placed where I want it. And then I'll take my focal panel and just pop that up over top. And then I'm just going to take my Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen, and I'm going to go over the scarf and the ribbons on the presents and the little girl's pom-pom and her boots just to give them some sparkle. I'm actually going to do a double layer of this just to give it some extra shine. The marker did pick up a little bit of that pink color, so you'll see that I ended up just doing all the pink, and then I'm going to scribble that off on some scratch paper, just a tiny bit, and then go over the white bits. So I know it's hard to pick up on camera, but in real life it's really pretty and sparkly. And I also decided to trace over the larger part of the sentiment, just to give those letters a little bit of shine too. Can never have enough glitter on Christmas cards, right? And that completes my card for today. I'm going to go ahead and try to catch the sparkle in the light there for you. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.